Hi, I'm Brian Sparks, editor of Greenhouse Grower, back in the studio with Dr. A. Allan Armitage. How are you today, Allan?
I'm well, Brian. I'm well. It's just life is good when you can dig in the dirt, and of course, most people can't because it's frozen out there. But the greenhouse side, it's just ripping away right now. So all is well.
Yep. Well, and speaking of digging in the dirt, we're not that far away from spring now, and the time when you're going to have a lot of consumers looking to dig in the dirt by going to their independent garden centers. And I know for folks who run or work at IGCs, the eternal question seems to be, what can I learn more about my customer? I know a lot of times customers will come into the store with a lot of questions for the teams at those stores. So I know you and I are going to talk a little bit about how to, give some really good, nice common sense answers to the questions that you might get from a customer coming into your store, whether they're, somebody new to the world of gardening or somebody who's been in it for a while and wants to try something new. So let's talk about that a little bit, Allan.
Well, I have been working and talking and playing with a lot of people, both the independent garden centers, even the box stores, but the retailers. And the other side, of course, the gardener or the landscaper, but mostly the gardener who goes into the independent garden center. And again, we talked in a previous video, Brian, about how things are changing with the plant materials and all. Well, things are changing with the consumer.
Yeah.
First of all, many of our younger consumers, and I don't even know what that means, but many of our younger consumers, they don't really want to ask a lot of questions. They're just used to doing their own thing. They'll look on their phone or whatever, but there still are a lot of people that are confused when they go into a garden center about the plants. And I have sort of called this, what solution does that plant give?
Yeah.
Solution gardening. They really are often confused about what to do with this plant. I mean, it's beautiful and luck would have it for us. They just throw it in their basket and away they go. But the other side of that luck is they don't know what to do with it. And sometimes they put it in the wrong place and they're not successful. And it's not a good experience. So what we're seeing now are people who are asking questions, but they're asking them to the staff on the floor who don't have enough time to often answer the question the way, it perhaps should be.
Yeah.
So I work with them a little bit about common sense answers you can give somebody in less than 30 seconds. So you can get back to work, but that makes sense, make common sense. So, when somebody asks about, I just give a quick example.
Yeah.
And I'm writing something about this that will be coming out later. But if somebody came up to you, Brian, and you were on the staff, you were doing whatever you got to do, and they said, I'd like to see some hydrangeas, and you would show them hydrangeas, and probably in the spring, they're not in flower, but they're in leaf at least.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd say, but sir, I heard I have to prune these, and I don't know what to do. And you're saying in the back of your head, oh gosh, if it's a mop head type, I do this. If it's another type, you can't do all that. It's confusing. So my answer, and the correct answer, by the way, to anybody who asks you about pruning, you can do it in 4 words. Cut back after flowering. If you just give them that advice, they'll look at you, because it doesn't matter if it's new wood or old wood or whose wood. Cut back after flowering is how you prune anything. So if you as a staff member have that in the back of your head, that's a common sense answer. It's something you can do quickly, and maybe additional answers or questions will follow, but you're answering it like that. If somebody said, gee, how do I plant it? How deep, how big, how whatever. They ask that question.
Yeah.
And the answer is, dig a $10 hole for a 10-cent plant, period. It's just, and I say it's as simple as that. Believe me, it's taken me 100 years to sort of get this, but so people will look at you like, well, okay, I guess I get that. No, dig a big hole. Okay. But that way you can say it with a smile on your face. They generally will smile back. You've answered your question, and away you go. So I think those are the things that are happening in a garden center today. Gardening has become so darn confusing. And again, if people just want to wander around, don't want any help, that's fine. But those that do, we don't seem to have enough time or enough, quite truthfully, educated people on the floor about our products. And our products are extraordinarily complicated. I mean, a petunia versus a marigold versus a calabash. I mean, it's really something. So we can't send all our staff to horticultural school,
Yeah.
but we can maybe spend an hour or 2 hours with them sometime and train them how to answer questions quickly and with common sense. And
Yeah.
so I'm getting into a lot of that with a lot of garden centers. And I think it's something that's just, they need that. And I say they need that because they ask me about it.
Yeah.
And so that's all about, what do we know about our customers? Well, not very much, but what would they like us to know about them? And the kind of questions they ask
Yeah.
are the way into their soul, so to speak.
Well, and as you and I were talking before this, I mean, that there's a million different ways to get to know your customers. There's a million different questions they should ask. You know, I'll wrap this up by posing the question to those who are watching this. If there's things that you want to learn more about, how can I get to know my customer? What can I do to build a better connection with them? Send me a note, drop us an email, and we'll make sure to address it in an upcoming conversation like this. So, because there's no better way to a time to have the conversation than just like this. So,
No, and again, and I say this, Brian, and Lord knows I may be just spitting in the wind, but the fact is, I know there's a lot of people in the garden center side, any retail side for that matter, who would love to do staff training. They don't have time. They don't know what to do. Heck, we can do it. I mean, I say we can do this. What's your 10 questions that you get? And how can we answer those things in 30 seconds or less with a smile so that everybody is happy and, we can get back to work.
exactly. Well, hey, Allan, thanks for the time today, and look forward to a lot more conversations just like this one.
Oh, that's fun. It's good fun, but it's also hopefully useful to anybody who's listening. And we look forward to seeing everybody down the garden path. All the best.
Absolutely. Thanks, Allan.